going on, folks, and welcome in to the Sports Tree Studio for this week's edition of the Monday Morning Wrap. That's right, the Monday Morning Wrap is back on air in full force. I'm Connor Roundtree, and we're going to start off today's show by giving away $500 to our Bracket Challenge champion for March Madness, courtesy of our friends at Highland GM on Yonge Street in Aurora. The experience that you deserve. If you're looking for a new vehicle, I highly recommend checking out Highland GM. Now, let's jump into our Bracket Challenge champions. Yes, we're a week late, but hey, we had some technical difficulties. We're back. Coming in third place with 53 points. There are actually 3 people with 53 points, but the tiebreaker goes to Jack James O'Neill, our champion from the Dell Match Play Bracket Challenge, brought to you by the Bogey Club. He just won $500. Now he wins a new lid, courtesy of us here at Sports Tree. Jack, head over to sportstree.ca, pick out a hat that you like, and we will send it to you. Congratulations. Second place with 54 points, just one ahead of the third place, is Jordan Tripp, winning a sweater. Congratulations, Jordan Tripp. You are the runner-up. Head over to sportstree.ca, pick a sweater that you would like, and we will get it sent out to you. And then winning $500, courtesy of our friends over at Highland GM, is Chase Howard with 76 points. 24 more points than the next closest competition. Absolutely blew it away. Obviously, he must have had the Huskies going pretty far. Chase Howard, congratulations. You win $500, courtesy of our friends at Highland GM. Getting into our weekend wrap-up now, folks. We'd be remiss if we didn't wrap up the Masters, one of the best weeks of sports every year. It's April. It means Augusta National, and the azaleas were looking beautiful. Except for Saturday, trees were falling down, patrons almost died. I believe it was Friday or Saturday. Scary stuff. However, Jon Rahm went out and got the job done, proving that when his game is on, he is one of the best golfers on planet Earth. 4 wins in 10 starts this season, amassing over $13 million in winnings. Jon Rahm, congratulations. As for our Talk Birdie Masters Trivia Challenge special, folks, Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson finished tied for second place. Yes, Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson is over 50 years old and he just finished T2 at the Masters. Pretty crazy stuff. But if you answered either Brooks Koepka or Phil Mickelson for our trivia question on sportstree.ca on Talk Birdie Me, you just doubled your entries to get in to win a pair of PGA tickets for next season in the Talk Birdie Me Trivia Raffle. So congratulations. Wrapping up our best bets from the Masters now, Tiger Woods, he made the cut. His 23rd consecutive made cut at Augusta National. That ties the record with Fred Couples and Gary Player for the longest streak in Masters tournament history. 23 consecutive cuts made. Unbelievable stuff. We got that at plus 100 on Bet365. Scotty Scheffler, plus 100 in the top 10. Plus 150 for a top 10 finish on Bet365. Then we had Shane Lowry in the top 20 spot at plus 165. Profitable weekend overall. And folks, we'll be back this week. I believe it's another great tournament with the Heritage Classic, the RBC Heritage Classic. I'm super excited. The other big sporting event that we have to wrap up from the weekend is the UFC. In the co-main event in Miami, Gilbert Burns beat Jorge Masvidal, the 305's very own Jorge Masvidal, via unanimous decision. Jorge Masvidal hung up the gloves and retired after the fight. He's 38 years old. He's accomplished basically everything he can in the sport, right? He's the BMF. He fought for the title twice, and it's just been a great career and a ton of fun for Jorge Masvidal. We had a lot of money on Gilbert Burns, so thank you, Gilbert Burns. As for the main event, Israel Adesanya, man, he slayed his demon. He is now 3-1 against Alex Pereira, but it simply doesn't matter because he holds the most recent win, winning via pretty emphatic knockout. He was getting his leg chewed up. He was getting outpointed. He was getting outstruck. He was getting beat point blank. He possummed up against the cage, pretended to be hurt, and then when Pereira closed in for the kill and lowered his hands, Adesanya just caught him, and that was all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. So Israel Adesanya regains his middleweight championship of the world. In the post-fight press conference, Dana White said that he's moving on with Alex Pereira. He wants him to move up to 205, possibly get the revenge for Glover Teixeira, his coach, who lost the belt to Jamal Hill. I think that's a matchup that would sell for the UFC, so it makes sense. And Israel Adesanya said in the very same press conference that he is closing this chapter of his career with Alex Pereira. Pereira, obviously 3 wins to the 1 loss, but everyone will remember Israel Adesanya's comeback and that emphatic knockout. Congratulations, Israel Adesanya. Getting into our sporting menu of the week, we have to serve it up with our appetizer, and it is the NBA play-in. The NBA play-in play-in tips off on Tuesday night. The Miami Heat host the Atlanta Hawks, and the winner will play the Celtics in the first round, while the loser will play the winner of the Bulls at Raptors for the right to play the Bucks in the first round. It's funny how this works, but you can see it on the screen. Out west, the Lakers take on the T-Wolves, with the winner playing the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs, and the loser will play the winner of New Orleans versus OKC. That OKC-New Orleans matchup is on Wednesday night, and the winner of that second game will have the honor of taking on the Denver Nuggets. Wow, it's confusing to talk about, but if you look at it on the screen, it makes a lot of sense. Now we will have some best bets, all the tips that you need, tips and tricks coming for you on sportstree.ca for the NBA play, and our guy Eddie Huben will be all over it. Our sporting entree of the week is the NHL playoff race. Every team in the NHL has 3 or less games to play, and that means our Sports Tree Bracket Challenge will be coming to you next week. The final games in the NHL are played on Friday night. That means we'll be able to set the bracket on Friday night into Saturday, so you guys can fill it out over the weekend and get in to win another $500 and some NHL memorabilia. As for the NHL playoff picture itself, there is one matchup set. The Toronto Maple Leafs will play host to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. As for the playoff race, well, in the East, there are 2 wildcard seeds available. The Florida Panthers and New York Islanders currently hold those 2 Eastern wildcard seeds, both at 91 points through 80 games played. The Penguins have played the same amount of games and sit 1 point back of those 2 teams. All 3 teams have 2 games left. It's going to be an exciting finish. Out west, there's only 1 wildcard seed remaining, but it is so tight with the top teams in points out west that we couldn't even begin to imagine what the first round of the playoffs will look like, so make sure you stay tuned throughout the week. Your sporting dessert of the week, folks, is some MLB action. That's right, the MLB is back in full swing, and so are we here on Sports Tree. Wing Wednesday will be back this Wednesday. Now, if you check out our play of the day, we have our best bet out. It is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Head over to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and watch our play of the day, and you can follow along, play with us, and hopefully we'll get the week started right. Also, more MLB news. Our MLB show, Wing Wednesday, covering the Toronto Blue Jays, will be back this Wednesday. That's right, we'll cover all the best bets, fantasy up and downs, everything that you need to know about the MLB with a focus on the Toronto Blue Jays. And we'll also try some dope stadium food and try some of the best hot wings in Toronto or wherever this show takes us. Make sure you stay tuned to this season of Wing Wednesday. Folks, as for your trivia question on this week's edition of the Monday Morning Wrap, we want you to give this as many likes as possible and as many views as possible. So make sure you give us a like, follow us, and then head over to sportstree.ca and answer this question to get in to win a pair of NBA or NHL tickets to see any team that you would like to see play next season. We mentioned this earlier in the show. This is why I said you can rewatch the show. Who has the most made cuts in Masters history? There's 3 guys. We mentioned all 3 of them earlier in the show. I'll give you a clue. Big Cat. Head over to sportstree.ca, answer that question, and you're in to win a pair of tickets to see your favorite NBA or NHL team. Folks, I'm Connor Roundtree, and that's a wrap.